Hello students. So in the last class we have discussed about polynomials, the initial topics of polynomials of chapter 2 of class 10. So in this class we are going to discuss about the graphical representation. You know the polynomials, linear polynomial, the standard form was ax plus b. Quadratic polynomial, the standard form was ax square plus bx plus c. Then cubic polynomial ax cube plus bx square, like this. If we see the graphical representation, if we find the zeros, what is zero? This zero is not this. This zero represents the solution of the polynomial. Means for what value of the x, মানে যোনটো variable তোমাৰ এই polynomial থাকিব, সেই variable value টোক আমি কি কও? Zero বুলি কও. Means for what value of the variable present in the polynomial results 0. Suppose x plus x minus 3 is a polynomial. It is linear polynomial. If you put x equal 3, it will be 3 minus 3 0. That means this x equal 3 is the 0 of this polynomial. A polynomial to 0 hoise x equal 3. মানে 0 means কি কলো আৰু এবাৰ ৰিপিট কৰিছো যে এটা polynomial for a polynomial if for the value of the variable, if the polynomial becomes 0, যোনটো value কাৰণে polynomial answer to 0 হয়, that is called 0 of the polynomial. Now in case of linear polynomial we will get only one 0. Okay, in case of quadratic polynomial we will get maximum 2 zeros. It depends on the highest factor, means degree. Here degree ki hoy, here degree 1, here degree 2. So here 0 kiman hobo? Duta 0 thakibo. In case of cubic, say this is cubic polynomial. So a cubic polynomial tor 0 kiman hobo? Highest 3 hobo, like this. Eta hetu depend kelai koribo. Suppose a jitu variable ase ami dhori lom, jodi x na thako x dhori lom. This is a quadrant 1 2 3 4. Okay, so it is a we represent this as graph. Clear? So graph jeti ami equation bilak boham, in case of linear polynomial etar jitu graph hobo, that is a straight line like this. A straight line bilak enigua hoy. Then quadratic polynomial graph to asile enigua shape. Already ami last class discuss korisu. Now, how can you find how many zeros are there in the given polynomial? So the method is, if you draw the graph, hey graph dale x axis of kimanta point of intersect korise. Okay, hey graph dale x axis of kimanta point of intersect koribo, hey number to hobo 0, number of zeros. Suppose this is a graph. Clear? This is a graph. In this graph, suppose this represents the polynomial, linear polynomial. So this graph intersect the x-axis only at one point. So jitu polynomial hobo tar 0 hobo matra eta. Suppose edal beleg edal graph. A graph dale suppose duta point ot katise. To yare 0 kiman hobo? Duta hobo. So like this we can find the zeros of the polynomial. So let us see the zeros of polynomial. About the graph. So this is a graph. These are four types of graphs. See, in this graph, the graph represents the equation intersect the x-axis only at one point. This graph do not intersect the x-axis. This graph intersects the x-axis at two distinct points. This graph just touches the x-axis at one single point. So, from this graph, observation from this graph, you can conclude that this polynomial has only one zero. This polynomial do not have any zeros. Here, eto zero na thakibo, eta zero nai. This polynomial has two zeros because the graph intersects the x-axis at two distinct points, and this graph has polynomial has only 1 0 because it only touches the graph at one point, means at x-axis. So in this case, say this graph intersects the x-axis at 4 distinct points. So this polynomial have 4 distinct zeros. Clear? So graph dale mane mon rakhiba x-axis of jimanta point intersect koribo ba kimanta zero hobo aru jodi hi eta point intersect nokore then tar zero nathake aru jodi hi matro eta point touch kore tar zero tetia eta hobo. Clear? So this is the method by which you can find number of zeros of a polynomial by representing graphically. Okay. So now we will discuss about the relationship between zeros of a polynomial. First we will discuss linear polynomial. How can you find the zeros? That we will discuss first. Then we will discuss about the relations. Clear? So suppose this is a linear polynomial. Ax plus b is a linear polynomial. So the condition is here a cannot be 0. কারণ কি হয় যদি a to 0 হৈ যায় a টার্ম to 0 হ'ব ইয়াত x নাথাকিব তেতিয়া হি লিনিয়াৰ হৈ নাথাকে. Clear? Now for finding the zeros we have to take the polynomial as equal to 0. Now find the value of x from this ax b to ইফালে নিয়া then it is minus b x equal minus b by a. So the value of x, the zero of a linear polynomial is this one. Now, it will already class 9 of paisa, but ekbar recall koraisu for understanding the relationship between zeros of polynomials. Okay. Now see what is b. B is what? The constant term. This is constant term. What is a? A is the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x. So this is 0 of linear polynomial. Means what? Suppose 5x plus 3 is a linear polynomial. You have to find the 0 of this. How can you find? The formula is minus b by a. What is b? B is 3. What is a? A is 5. So by this method you can find the 0 of a polynomial for linear polynomial. Next we will discuss about quadratic polynomial. So now how can you find the relationship? How can you prove the relationship between the zeros of the quadratic polynomial? Say alpha and beta are the zeros of quadratic polynomial. This one. Now if they are zeros, then x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors of this polynomial. That factors we can write as ax square plus bx plus c is equal to k x minus alpha x minus beta. This is the method. These are the factors and k is a constant. So ketiaba ki hoy ketiaba kisuman constant ami common lobo laga hoy a constant to hetu. Now simplify this k, it will be x square minus alpha plus beta whole into x plus alpha into beta. Tumaloke jodi ekhini multiply kora etu result hobo. Now you can compare the coefficients, compare the variables. So what is the variable? You can simplify this also, kx square minus k whole into alpha plus beta into x plus k alpha beta. If you compare the coefficients x square, then from this a is equal to k. Okay. From second x if you compare, then b is equal minus k alpha plus beta. So what is the value of k? Value of k is a minus a alpha plus beta. So if you keep alpha plus beta here, a to ifala eba, it will be minus b by a. Then about the product, the third one, c, and here k alpha beta. C is equal to k alpha beta. What is the value of k? Value of k is a alpha beta. Therefore alpha beta is equal c by a. So already we have discussed that sum of zeros is minus b by a, alpha plus beta, and product of zeros is c by a, that is coefficient alpha into beta constant term divided by coefficient of x square. So this is the method how can you prove the formula, the relation between the coefficients, sum of zeros and product of zeros. In the next class we will discuss the numericals about this. There are some numericals. You have to form a quadratic polynomial, you have to find the relation between the zeros. These things we will discuss in the next class. তেতিয়ালৈকে তোমালোকে এই গোটেই টপিক খিনি ভালকে একবাৰ চাই লোৱা। Thank you.